Fat Gay podcast where we talk about the things that are weighing on our minds. I'm Trevor Keyson. I'm a super chub. And today I'm a iced coffee fall crisp post-rain boy.
Rain?
Yeah, it's much needed rain in LA and it washed out the allergens. It smelled like petrichor and crisp fall air. And now we're going to be going up the coast to Monterey to see some of Dan's family.
Oh, lovely. Yes.
Hi, my name is Michael Willer. I am a chubby chaser, and I am a mildly disappointed Cabo cruise boy because our cruise to Cabo got moved to a cruise to the middle of the ocean because of a hurricane that I think is the rain that you guys just got. So, you win some, you lose some.
Oh,
hey, my name's Don. I'm a big chubby guy living here in sunny Hollywood. And today I'm the amazing COVID survivor boy. Wow. I am on day 7 of testing positive for COVID.
Oh my God.
I'm exhausted, but really well on the way to recovery. So
okay, good.
Don't send out any rescue squads. I'm fine.
Oh my goodness. Hello, I'm Dan Oliverio, author, public speaker, and chubby chaser. And today I am a gearing up for travel boy. I've got a lot of travel plans starting tomorrow. Yes, that's right. We're going to Monterey. Then I'm going to Spain, and I'm going to New York, and then
that sounds amazing. I love Spain. Bring back some saffron. I don't think the paella would make it.
Yeah. Thank you to our patrons, our partners. Get yourself some bearskin underwear before Halloween.
Terrify your date.
You can save 15% off your order with promo code BigFatGayPod. Take your trick and treat them with a Big Fig mattress. Use our link to purchase a mattress. Treat yourself, support the podcast.
And support your back.
Yes. Have some spooky fun on our Discord. We're chatting. We have game nights. We have all sorts of fun there. Or trick yourself with a terrifying newsletter that will come out monthly, maybe. Surprise at the end of the month.
It keeps coming out. That's what I'm saying right now.
It's recurring.
It's a recurring newsletter.
Yes. It's the little newsletter that can.
Well, to be fair, it was going to be monthly, then it was going to be every 4 episodes, but then we have interruptions to episodes. I'm confused.
So are we all. But it exists, and it's a good resource if you want sort of a low stress, low key connection to the show.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And you have a very limited amount of time left to watch Shaun of the Dead before we discuss it on the 29th.
Yeah, 29th of October. It's a great movie.
Yes.
It's got I think it's kind of like buddy movie / rom-com wrapped up in the guise of a sort of zombie apocalypse, but it's not really scary. It's more fun.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
It has more in common with the road trip movie than it does the zombie apocalypse movie. It's sort of a weird...
It's a good mishmash.
But with a lot of heart.
You can find links to the Discord and sign up for the newsletter on our website.
That's right.
Yes. Or our link tree.
Oh, we have a link tree. Oh, we've made it.
Yeah. Link tree. Link tree bespeaks quality.
Oh, yes. and spicy links.
And lastly, Shaun of the Dead, that episode will be our last episode before a little autumnal hiatus. We've got some travel. We've got Thanksgiving. It's a little time for rest and stuffing.
Not necessarily in that order.
Yeah.
Michael.
What?
I'm shocked.
You could stuff yourself at Thanksgiving dinner and then rest afterwards. What did you think I meant?
I was having this whole Build-A-Bear fantasy.
So for the month of November, we will not be releasing any episodes. We'll be back with a couple episodes in December before the holidays, and then we'll be back in January.
The holidays are always a fun time for episodes. But with that said, let's do some pop culture.
Do any of you remember Major Attaway? He got famous a few years back for performing the genie in Aladdin on Broadway.
Oh!
I just saw the eureka moment on everybody's faces.
Yes, now I remember.
So he's back, and he's got a little video of his newest production of Little Shop of Horrors with sort of a musical stage video of the Mean Green Mother from Outer Space number from that show.
Not from the stage show, it's from the movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that is exclusive to the movie, and he basically pitched this to the Broadway team. to say, hey, we should record this and release it on September 21st, which is the day that there's the total eclipse of the sun.
So here's a little sample from the video. It's really worth checking out of the full length, but here's a little piece.
Hello, I'd like to return this plant. Oh, really? Well, tough titty. Better wait a minute. Better hold the phone. Better mind your manners. Better change your tone. Don't you threaten me, son. You got a lot of gall. We're gonna do things my way, or we won't do things at all. You don't know what you're messing with. You got no idea. You don't know what you're looking at when you're looking here. You don't know what you're up against. No way, no how. You don't know what you're messing with, but I'm gonna tell you now. Get this straight. I'm just a mean green mother from outer space.
That is just one of the best damn musicals ever made by anyone,
so
ever, in any place, and any time.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
It's so good.
So what was so exciting about this, I saw this on TikTok and then Instagram, and people were really excited at first because they're like, oh my God, I'm so glad that they're having the Audrey 2 performer perform alongside, like on stage.
Yeah.
Which then was not the case, but there was a lot of discussion happening on like all these threads about like, oh, they're starting to do that because in most productions, including the Broadway production, Major Attaway is in like a sound booth behind the stage.
Yeah, because he's doing the voice of the plant and someone else does the puppeteering. But now they're starting to bring the singer on stage as the performer puppeteer.
Which I can see, because I can see a lot of audiences being like, wait, I don't understand. Why? Who's the guy? Like, there's the plant, but why is there a guy with the plant? Like,
Why is there a guy over there?
It's almost like watching The Lion King going like, wait, who are those people behind the animals?
I have seen a couple of productions where they put the sound booth to the left of the proscenium. So you see the performance and then you have the puppeteer, which is actually very, very kabuki.
So when he posted this on Instagram, he also included the caption, "Ask for what you want. I pitched this idea to the Little Shop of Horrors West Side Theater team, and the village came together to make it happen. Amidst the madness of 8 show weeks, press events, off-site rehearsals, maintenance rehearsals, put-in rehearsals, opening night parties, illness and injury, they still showed up in support to bring what only they could to a very fun project. I'm grateful. Can you find the hidden major?" Little winky face. Please enjoy. So yeah, if you go to his Instagram, you can actually watch. They basically shot a whole music video on the set with everybody, performing their parts. So it's not your typical like view from the audience. They actually have a camera roaming around, and it's all cut together. Obviously gorgeously recorded, and I guess you can find a little Easter egg, hidden Mickey, hidden Major in there.
I finally just got that because I read that caption a few times. I think the joke is like, he's not hidden, he's finally
Right, it's that he's literally in the entire thing singing to camera.
Yeah.
I love his suit too. This should just be it. They should just do this and have the performers in amazing green suits just vibing with the giant Audrey puppet.
I have to say, Major Attaway is one of the few Broadway personalities that I've heard of in the past 10 years that has just gone completely mainstream, just adored for that one role. So I'm looking forward to seeing him doing a lot more beyond this. I'm psyched.
Yeah. You also go follow him because he has a really cool Instagram page. It's Major Attaway, Attaway, and check him out.
Cool. Well, speaking of singers and stepping on and off stage, our next story comes out of Fatwatch.
Fatwatch 2025.
That's right, Don, 2025. And in this installment of Fatwatch, we're talking about Nicky Spence, the British tenor. A lot of things to talk about here. First of all, the big news is that he has raised £50,000 as a scholarship for singers to go to Guildhall, which is a music school in Britain. And it's specifically for people who don't have the funds to go to, let's say, a conservatory, and they could study voice at Guildhall. And what's interesting about Nicky Spence, apart from just being a fabulous tenor, is he's had this incredible career. He had a recording career starting at 21 in classical music.
That's wild.
And then, of course, you know, still got fat shamed because he's fat and gay.
Of course.
His partner is also a musician, a vocalist. But he actually drifted more and more into opera, where costume designers are like, well, what do you expect me to do with that? You're the size of a small bungalow.
Literally quoted.
That was an actual quote from a costume designer, yeah.
Which is just...
But the cherry on the sundae for me here is that he is currently performing in Peter Grimes at the Welsh National Opera. And what you need to know about Peter Grimes as an opera by Benjamin Britten, it is an opera about an English fisherman, but it's coded that his ostracization from the community is kind of because he's gay. Oh. It's a tragic opera. And it's kind of perfect that a gay tenor is starring in the lead.
Yeah. When you think about opera, I think there's like this stereotype that opera singers are fat. Just I don't really know.
It's also kind of the reality.
Is it also reality? I mean, I think
it's less so now than it used to be.
Less so now than ever.
It really is a stereotype. When I was in college, I was one of the few non-vocal majors lucky enough to be able to take voice lessons in the voice department at my college. And they didn't even give me a chance to try anything else. They just shoved opera in my hand and marched me right towards that piano because, like, that's what I was built for, apparently.
It's funny because I am like, well, of course opera singers are fat, because I know actually several fat opera singers.
Yeah.
But that's just because like most of the people I know are fat.
It's actually interesting because I think what's really happened, let's say in the last 10 years, is that, you know, it used to be that if you were thin, you could be a pop star singer. But if you're fat, well, really, we're going to have to cast you in opera.
Yeah.
And now it's sort of reversed where you can be a fat pop singer and opera singers are increasingly buff.
Someone we've talked about on the show before is the Israeli singer Netta, where if you check it out, she has a couple of interviews where she basically always thought that she had no choice but to become a belter.
Because she was built like that.
Which is so far away, if you ever listen to her music, what she likes and what she enjoys doing. So it's interesting to hear her now, where like she's gone through the belter training and now she is able to incorporate that into the stuff that she actually genuinely does love. And it creates this nice hybrid. And the opera singers that I've loved have always been those people that have kind of been able to step outside. I'm trying to remember her name, Audra McDonald.
Yes.
She's an amazing opera singer, but my God, when you put something else in front of her and just let her play, joy.
She just finished her run as Gypsy, and that's an Ethel Merman role. And seeing Audra McDonald, an opera singer, doing a role that was written for Ethel Merman, wow.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations and thanks to Nicky Spence for getting this scholarship going and to see the story that is basically highlighting him as this, you know, skyrocketing star, but also just like, and fat shaming. And I was like, you're not going to talk of like, there's so many other things going on with him. And I'm like, you're really not. Several times I'm like, am I just missing the rest of this article?
Yeah.
The article from the Daily Mail.
No, that was the article. And kudos to the Daily Mail for always pointing out the fat shaming of Britain.
Yes.
And if they can't report it, they're going to make it.
Right. Doing nothing to say, you know, that it's wrong or bad, and really just highlighting it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Well, the surprise of fat shaming is, I don't know, frequent, but also jarring always. And Michael kind of had a story to tell us.
Yeah.
That I am very excited to hear. So I'll hand it to Michael to set up this whole discussion.
We haven't heard this. Yeah.
This is all new. So Michael and I, my partner and I, went on a cruise vacation last week, so quite recently. And it was overall fantastic because cruises can be really relaxing, and that's really what we needed. And it was also our first vacation where it was sort of like just for us and not like a family thing. However, there are a couple moments that were not great, but one that really stood out. So this was a Royal Caribbean cruise, and they're known for having a lot of really high quality entertainment, a lot of technology. They hire people who oftentimes end up on Broadway to do like musicals and performing. And there's that sort of vibe throughout the entire ship. And one of their headlining entertainment acts was a man named Jason Garfield. And he is these are my air quotes, a world champion juggler. First of all, his shtick was he's supposed to fill 45 minutes. And you're kind of like, okay, like we'll go watch juggling because we're on a cruise ship and why not? And he kind of comes out and his shtick is like, yeah, I get it. The juggler, nobody wants to watch that. I guess I'll just do this anyway. And it's very dry. I was like, you know what? Fine. If that's what it takes to kind of get him to then wow us at the end of the show with a really impressive act, then fine. Like he's creating a dramatic arc. He spends half the show basically just doing that and maybe a couple like very typical like balls and pins kind of juggling acts, which, okay. And then halfway through, he goes, oh, maybe I should have, hyped myself up a little bit so you all can kind of understand who I am more. And a screen comes down. Oh no! Fills the whole stage.
Oh no! I know where this is going exactly.
And they play a video. It's like a show reel. I mean, it's him doing all of these impressive performances, and he's played in Vegas. He's played a lot of places. All of these crazy juggling acts that we hadn't seen up to that point. So we're like, wow, this is going to be great. But then there's a few segments where he's also teaching Penn Jillette of Penn and Teller how to do some of these juggling moves because Penn is a famous juggler as well. And then it kind of takes this right turn into, how he also helped train Penn Jillette to help him lose over 100 pounds. And you're kind of like, okay, that seems irrelevant. But then it ends on this like cool shot of him like juggling flames or whatever. And then the music ends, lights come back up and the screen rises and he's standing in the middle of the stage like in a cool pose. Everybody starts clapping because you're like, great, we're going to get to see some of that. No.
Oh, what?
His email address pops up on a couple of screens around the theater.
Oh, shit. No.
He walks to the front of the stage and says, I helped Penn Jillette lose over 100 pounds, and I can also help you. Because you have all been eating 17 meals a day, you're probably going to get home and want to do something about it.
Oh, my
and
God.
Therefore, I can help train you. All you have to do is sign up at this email. He spent 5 full minutes of his set pitching people on not only the fact that he could help them lose weight through his workout regimen, but also basically fat shaming everyone and food shaming everyone for like enjoying their cruise and like eating. Like I was sickened.
I would write a sternly worded letter.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I can't imagine not doing that.
I reamed him in the host cruise feedback. He just didn't want to be there in the first place.
Clearly.
And Michael was saying it's brilliant. This was the point of him taking that job.
Yeah.
It was the whole point. Target the people who were literally talking about how, oh my God, I've eaten so much. And when I go home, I need to start my work, and like it's there. That's just how people think. Mm-hmm. And so for him to show up during the vacation and turn on that part of their brain early before they get home, it's fucking brilliant. It's the most disgusting predatory thing he could do without actually like, hurting people. But like,
yeah,
Jesus.
It's like having this alliance between muggers and payday loans.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like Jason Garfield, it was such a sliming out of nowhere.
So with that said, our topic of the day is surprise sliming in entertainment.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it can come from anywhere.
What to do, how to react.
Or happy stuff too. You could say happy things.
Candying or sliming entertainment. I brought a sliming story personally. That was my experience.
Oh man.
I mean, mine's kind of both. I have been watching a lot of the Drew Carey show. I talked about this in the behind the scenes, but it's something I watched a ton of growing up. And I think it was like watching it live, but also in syndication. And it's a sitcom for those of you who aren't familiar with Drew Carey outside of The Price is Right. He used to have a show called The Drew Carey Show that was kind of based on his stand-up. It was a sitcom, him working for a department store and his childhood best friends getting into wacky antics. And Drew Carey was still fat at the time, which is the basis for, there's a ton of fat jokes in the show.
Yeah. And it is the 90s, so it is the season for fat jokes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's required.
Well, they had 2 fat characters on the show, which was actually kind of rare at the time.
Very.
Yeah.
But they are definitely clowns. That, in fact, Mimi is absolutely a clown.
Yes. Mimi, played by Kathy Kinney, who is part clown, part drag queen. And she is kind of like the primary antagonist for Drew Carey's Drew Carey character. So there's a lot of like fat jokes just about Drew Carey, and she is kind of constantly making fat jokes about him. And she makes the most, but I'm also kind of like the least offended by them.
Because she's making them.
But it's also kind of like, because they're both fat and like, because she is such a drag queen type character, it's almost like she's reading him and then he'll go back and forth with her. There's a couple times where he makes almost fat jokes about her. Most of the jokes about Mimi's appearance are her garish makeup, her garish outfits. But something that I've really loved about revisiting this show is she is a fat character who dressed the most colorfully and uniquely. Like, I want to know what the budget was for her costuming.
You think it was expensive?
I mean, I think a lot of money went into it because I think everything she wore was custom made for her.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think maybe there was like, they would find a piece and then build the rest of the outfit around it.
Yes.
But I think it was still an amazing amount of tailoring work and makeup time and haberdashery. But to go back to kind of the sliming aspect.
Yeah, this is what I notice.
So there's a point in the third season, Drew has a lot of love interests throughout the show. And there's a point in the third season where he starts dating this woman. The character's name is Nicky, played by Kate Walsh. And Nicky's a real estate agent, and she is very neurotic about her weight and her diet. And she's a thin actress, and there's a point where Drew sees she's really neurotic about stuff. He tries to diet to appease her and like make going out on dates and stuff easier. It kind of comes to a head, and he's like, I love to eat. I don't think you need to worry about gaining weight, because she reveals that she used to be fat, and she like the reason she's so meticulous about everything is because she used to be fat, and like she's like, I just can't go back to that. But their relationship, like things deepen, and she starts gaining weight, which means they start putting her in fat suits.
Oh, it gets even better.
It's progressive, and it's interesting because it's like, it's not Fat Monica. It's gradual, but the fatter she gets, the more fat jokes they start to make about her.
Oh, fun.
And she makes about herself.
Yes. Yeah.
Was this a prolonged thing or
Yes.
over 1 or 2 episodes?
Over the season.
Okay.
I'd say 20 episodes done.
Really?
Wow.
They're making fat jokes about her. She's making fat jokes about herself. There's a lot of food jokes, including...
Oh, and she's constantly eating and shoving food into her mouth.
Yes. I had to look this up because I'm like, I know this is a reference to something. There's this, one of the cold opens is Drew and Nicky. Nicky's like at the peak fat suit level, and they're recreating the scene from 9.5 Weeks. That's like a sexy eating thing.
Oh, yeah.
Which in the movie, like both are gross. And the version they do on the Drew Carey show is like just so drawn out.
It's presumably supposed to be funny.
Yeah. And I think they're making fun of the movie. Like it's this gross animalistic like scene where they're squirting condiments in each other's mouth and licking stuff off each other, but not like whipped cream and chocolate syrup. It's like ketchup and honey, and just it's very messy. It's
meant to be, again, let's take this scene and we'll do a parody of it. We'll make it disgusting by making it fat people and things you wouldn't want to eat.
Right.
Yeah. There's a whole kind of like couple episode arc where Drew's lifelong family fridge, because he lives in his parents' house, like the fridge breaks, then he wins a new fridge from some contest at work, and it's like this very deluxe fridge, and there's a like kind of funny, kind of sweet, but also kind of a fat joke dance sequence where he and Nicky are they're talking about like how nice the fridge is, and then they're dancing inside of the fridge amongst all these giant food props.
It's a fantasy of like doing a 42nd Street dance routine inside the fridge, and the fridge is their stage.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. And then Drew and Nicky are engaged, and there's also like other characters are engaged. So there's kind of this like rushing to wedding, and like the couples kind of feeding off each other's energy of like, oh, we're going to get married and we're going to have these great weddings. And the season finale, there's a sequence where Drew and Nicky are making a sex tape. And then they get interrupted by a bunch of events, and you don't really find out what happens. Like the sex tape got interrupted, and now they're not getting married anymore.
What?
And Drew has to kind of like break it to everyone that like, oh no, like I'm not marrying Nicky. I just decided I couldn't do it. And at the end of the episode,
here we go.
Drew comes home, he grabs a beer, puts a VHS tape in the VCR, and sits down on the couch and he's watching the sex tape.
Hey, listen, I'm sorry. This was a stupid idea. If it makes you comfortable, I'll just shut it off.
No, it's not that. Look at me. I'm a pig. I'm disgusting. How can you even look at me?
I love looking at you. You look great.
Quit saying that. You know I don't look great. You just saw my big fat ass on TV. I knew this was going to happen. This is why I didn't want to start dating you in the first place. I can't handle being around someone who loves to eat.
You know, you picked a hell of a guy to get engaged to, you know. Please don't do this. Look, I love you. I'll work. I'll help you.
You can't help me. You're the problem. Here. You should probably have your ring back. Crap! I can't even get the damn thing off. Would you turn that video camera off? Last thing we need is a videotape of our last night together.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I have so many things to say about this.
I think I remember watching that, and I think I kind of blocked it out.
Yeah. It's so jarring. I feel like that makes at least season 3 arc of the Nicky Fatsoon thing like kind of pay off in a way that, especially for the 90s, is a very impactful thing.
Yeah.
But I also have to say they bring Nicky back at various points, and there's a point like I think it's season 9, where she comes back fatter than ever and is like crazy and tries to kill Drew. And that's like a whole plot at some point.
Because he made her fat again and she couldn't get out of it.
Well, no, because she's crazy and fat. And
well, the idea that psychology, that she calls off a marriage because she suddenly sees herself on camera, that kind of person kind of is a little nutty. So I don't think it's so much the fat thing as the internalized self-hatred. The thing is, number one, you didn't need to do a fat suit for this. You could have just hired a fat actress for the whole season and had the backstory that she used to be thin. Like, you didn't have to do a fat suit. I don't think you get any mileage out of that whatsoever, except the audience siding with her of like, yeah, you are really disgusting. That's the only mileage you get out of that. I think you could have had the entire arc with her being fat and her having this thing about having a problem being fat. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of fat guys that I have dated who are like, I can't date you. I've had other people tell me you shouldn't date them because if you date them, why would they ever lose weight? I've had third parties tell me this. I've had the guy tell me this. Like, if you accept me at my current weight, then I'll never lose weight. And then, then I'm fucked forever. So this has happened to me personally. So I do respect that about the show. I just don't think you ever needed that actor in a fat suit.
I mean, I guess it's kind of that TV comedy thing of don't worry, it's not real. Like, we're not going to make it too real. Like, it's just a fat suit. You don't have to worry. It's not.
Yeah. It's distancing from the actual experience being portrayed.
Yeah. She's not an actual fat person.
Yeah. But see, then you got that last episode and that is such a drawbridge drop.
Does that get better if it's an actual fat woman?
I don't think it makes it better that it was a fat suit and it was a cartoon fat person all this time. I think that's worse.
Without having seen the entire season, I could understand the advantages and disadvantages of having a fat suit for this particular story, in that you can provide a wider range of impact on body change and make it visible. But I don't know. I feel like I have to go back to the mindset of the 90s to try and wrap my brain around this, which is hard to do.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I would love to know how these beats were developed and worked out. Like, from concept to page in the writer's room of like, what if we have Drew date a fat woman and like there's this whole dynamic of their conflicting views on diet. And it's like, well, no, but what if we have like a hot girl and then like we can put her in a fat suit and we can make a bunch of jokes And then we can like deal with that. Like you can still have the whole beat about like body image, but we can make it funny.
One of the things I find interesting about this is that this is resulting from a story that is helmed by a fat man as the showrunner.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be curious what Drew Carey's take was on all of this at the time.
Well, relative to your comment, Don, about it being the 90s, something else that was true about network television in the 90s is that when you had a 24 episode season, they didn't write the whole season in advance. You know, it wasn't like a limited series where you have 6 episodes and they have all 6 written and then they go to film it.
Yeah.
So they were adjusting as the season went along. Mm-hmm. And how they started may not be how they finished and vice versa. So I would love to know what went on in those many, many weeks in the writer's room. I doubt they had this all fleshed out as one single self-made arc. You know, maybe the actress wanted off the show and that's what they did. That doesn't explain the fat suit.
Apparently, I'm looking at an article in Looper that's about the Drew Carey show, and they addressed this particular arc with Kate Walsh, and she did an interview with Women's Health where she was talking about that experience and that she had also been fat at one point in her life, and that she at one point went out to eat while wearing the fat suit, probably on lunch, and that people were staring at her like she was an animal going to the trough.
Yeah.
And that people can be really cruel. Mm-hmm. And I think an actress like, well, who knows? I mean, actors oftentimes just have to take the work they're given, but I suspect they were trying to make a point.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's palpable because you feel the laughter dying off as this scene is moving forward.
Well, it's all laugh track anyway. That's engineered. It's interesting because it would absolutely be in keeping with this show or a show of the 90s. Like if the lead is fat and we wanted to make it romantic, it kind of has to be a fat girlfriend, or we have to do the whole King of Queens thing where all the women that fat men date are hot and they just don't notice his weight.
Yeah.
But it's a Drew Carey show, so the weight is central. The fat suit, I just can't get my head around why a fat suit.
Because it was like, why not a fat suit in the 90s? Like,
yeah, that would have been way less controversial back then. I don't think anyone was asking the question.
I know that. I totally get that. And you know, for Fat Monica, it's 1 episode. As you said, Don, it's 3 episodes. No, this is like a season. And I just don't get that.
I wonder if there was an element of Fat Drew being attracted to this conventionally attractive thin woman who then gains weight and is still attracted to her and wants to marry her.
There you go.
And it plays the other side of the coin. Like it shows well-adjusted versus not.
I'll buy that.
Yeah.
That's pretty, yeah.
And that she's the one who dumps him still. Like it's not the guy dumping the woman for getting fat. It's the woman dumping him because she got fat.
Yeah.
I'm curious if there was a version of this instead of like someone who loves to eat, if it's like someone who's happy fat. Mm-hmm. And that it's just like, well, people, you can't say something like a fat person is happy. It has to be that they like to eat. You know, he likes to eat a big cheeseburger.
I don't even think they would argue it. I think the writer's room would just bust out laughing and go, good one. You know, like, yeah, but okay. But what really is the problem here? He likes to eat.
I will point out that when I did the MTV True Life episode, which was like 2007-ish, I think it came out in early 2007, the title of that MTV True Life was I'm Happy to Be Fat. And that was a radical statement.
Yeah.
That was a confession. That was the title you're going to watch.
Watching this in the 90s, I really did think Drew Carey was very progressive. Yeah, it was addressing the issues in some way.
Yeah.
Which you didn't see otherwise.
Yeah.
You know, I think if I recall correctly, didn't he have a trans character on the show? I think his brother or...
Well, that's the joke.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
His brother, played by John Carroll Lynch, is a cross-dresser.
Oh, he's a cross-dresser.
Which I'm also curious if it was one of those things where the concept to page of that whole, the character in that storyline, Drew's brother, who identifies as a cross-dresser, eventually marries Mimi, and then they drop the whole like, oh, and then he decides not to be a cross-dresser anymore, and then he moves to Florida because I think the show needed to cut their budget, and they like there's a bunch of characters who just disappear, including his brother.
I'd like to take a quick second to discuss the Mimi of it all. Mimi was a really interesting character back then.
Yeah, the fat bully.
Mm-hmm. I was square in the corner of Mimi in a way that I think, I don't know if everyone else was. I'm curious. So I was a big fantasy book reader when I was a kid. And I read a series of books called Myth Adventures, MYTH, Myth Adventures. And there was a character introduced early in that series, Masha, who was a mechanic magician, where she was a massively obese, overly large woman that was in every description made of her. Then she wore, I distinctly remember it was green and purple makeup, going as big and sort of drag queeny as possible.
That sounds like Mimi.
While she wasn't a wizard, she made jewelry that contained magic spells in them. So she would go out in public and her clothing was consistently described as the most sexualized, bikinis, lingerie, like everything to show as much skin as possible with all this jewelry everywhere. And she's introduced as sort of like a joke. You see who she is over the course of the book where she's introduced, and she's a fucking hero, just like all the other main characters in the show. And they let her be a hero over the course of like the 7 or 8 books that she was in.
Okay, and hero, not a villain.
Not a villain. Didn't change the way she looked, but she does explain over the course of several books, like why she dresses that way, what it does for her, how it makes her feel, how it gives her power, and how it lets her turn other people's prejudiced beliefs about her against them in every interaction she has with them.
Yeah, that's who you think.
So when I met Mimi, I had all of that in there. And I'll be honest, I think Masha influenced my own personality a little bit, which helped me see a little bit of me in Mimi. That, you know what, if you're not going to let me in the club, I'm going to fucking blow up your club.
Yeah.
That's who she is. I liked that about Mimi, and I'm not clear if we were supposed to like her back then or not, you know?
Well, because the thing with Mimi is she is mean. She actively sabotages Drew. She actively, I mean, the insulting is nothing compared to what she really does to him and how she tricks him and sabotages him and things like that. So it's hard to see her as a good person. But
I mean, they go tit for tat, and by the end of the show, they actually are friends. And even early on in the show, there's a point where there's like some new employee guy who's like the cool guy, and they are both initially led to believe they are left out of this huge party that like he throws for everyone at work. And they're kind of commiserating about like feeling left out for, you know, Drew being the like kind of fat loser and Mimi being the
garish clown.
Yeah. I'd be willing to guess I wasn't the only one who watched Mimi and took a few pointers on emotional self-defense.
Oh, I think you're right. I think you're right.
Oh, I rewatching the show, I'm like, wow, I did not realize how much of this really shaped my personality.
Oh yeah, you could be Mimi for Halloween easily.
I wanted to talk about 2 shows that I've seen recently, real quick. So I've been trying to get back into Japanese animation recently. I've been using Crunchyroll and going through a bunch of new shows. And I've seen 2 shows recently that had fat characters being portrayed in different ways. The first one I want to talk about real quick is something called Bang Brave Bang Bravern.
All right.
It's a mech anime. For those of you who know that, that's like going back to the Voltron days and Mazinger Z and all that kind of stuff, right? So the basic plot of the show is there's been an outbreak of giant evil monsters on a small island off the coast of Japan. And a small industrial company is trying to start up a business where they use mechs to go and fight the monsters and clear out the island. I've gotten very used to watching anime and never seeing a fat character. If I see a fat character, they're a one-shot where their fatness and how disgusting they are is the central descriptor of the character. This show actually had a character that is the president of the giant robot creating company, and she's a big Japanese businesswoman that's sassy, aggressive, and goes toe-to-toe with all the other CEOs in the show. And her representation is purely one of business. It is not overly kind, the grandma godmother, but she's also not the evil CEO that everyone else is. She's willing to work with them to make the good thing happen, right? And that's not only a effective, useful character on the show, but I have never seen a Japanese business person that was fat that wasn't a villain.
Yeah.
Ever. The other one I wanted to bring up, though, is a new one for 2025 called Ugly Mug Epic Fighter. This is what's called an isekai in animation, where you have someone from our world that's sort of picked up and dropped in the fantasy world. And what he ends up doing is, in order to get all of the sort of benefits of getting reincarnated in this new god state, he nerfs his looks so that he gets all the bonus points from being really, really ugly. And then it makes him powerful in every other way.
He min-maxes his face?
He min-maxes, yes.
Okay.
By making his charisma 0 or a negative 250 or something.
Yeah.
And that launches him into a adventure where he inhabits the body of an enormously obese, repeatedly described as ugly man, but who has all the powers of God. And it becomes this sort of exploration of the way he's treated. You find out that all these other people he encounters in this fantasy world, it's sort of like a Wizard of Oz situation. All the other people he encounters here who were transported from our world met him in the real world. And it's sort of like the way they see him now and the way they see him then influences the way everyone behaves towards him on the show. I can't hold it up as being like a great example of fat liberation in anime, but it's the first one I've seen where I felt like they actually were trying to address physical appearance, looks, fatness in a way that it's still brutally negative on the surface. But like, if you're mining and you're looking for some sort of representation, you see moments where I'm like, oh, that doesn't suck. Oh, that's actually a legitimate observation. Oh, that's constructive. So yeah, it slimed me.
It's got a little
watching it,
a candy center, though.
Yeah, it's slime with a candy center. It's the best way I can put it.
So I just want to pitch this in here real short. We just finished watching The Residence.
Oh, yeah.
And with a fat black female detective, it is astonishingly good. It is so great. I love that character. Netflix did not give it a second season. It would have been an anthology season because it wraps up. There's no, like, you wouldn't continue that plot line, but you use the same detective in another adventure. She is wonderful. The actress who plays her is wonderful, whose name is escaping me at the moment. But wow, everybody should go see The Residence on Netflix. If you like Knives Out, she will make you understand why people did not love Daniel Craig in that movie. This is what this should have been. This is what should have been. It's cleverer. It's funnier. It's truer.
And there's a lot of fat actors in the ensemble, including Chris Grace.
Yes, Chris Grace is in it. I highly recommend it. Go see.
So before we move on to the tip and the bit, I wanted to just take a quick moment to address an important subject and kind of explain our feelings on it. So America feels like it's falling into fascism. There are political leaders fat shaming our military openly and all kinds of other much, much worse things. But, obviously that's directly related to the podcast. And so it probably feels like, why aren't we talking about this? And it's a pretty straightforward answer. It's really emotionally brutal to live in that headspace, to live here and also inundate and marinate in that world and in those feelings without having any kind of positive spin for it, without having anything to say, here's what you can do to self-care or to make this situation better. The subjects we talk about on the show, we try and really make sure that if they're going to be really kind of emotionally brutal subjects, that you as our listeners know that you'll be taken care of by us, that whatever you have to sort of endure in terms of how awful the world is that we're relating in terms of information, that you also get some kind of caretaking spin. It's something about it, that there's some kind of payoff to the suffering. And, while our show certainly could be a lot more heavy-hitting journalism, that's actually not what it is. And if we can't provide insight and comfort, then we do actually choose to just avoid those subjects until we can. So I just wanted to address that, explain it. And if that changes, you'll know. You'll be the first to know because you'll hear it in the show. But with that said, Trevor, How about a tip for the day?
I mean, I think check out The Residents, check out the Drew Carey Show, I can't even begin to try to remember the exact title of those two animes, and go on a cruise, but maybe don't go see any juggling.
Yeah.
Down with juggling.
Skip Royal.
Yeah.
Take Princess instead.
The bit.
All right, kids, we've got a bit today. We've got a bit about slime in music.
Oh, dear.
We've had all these sort of huge events over the past few decades, some of which have rocked the world. So here we go. I've got 6 different categories. Each of you will be able to pick one, and we'll leave 2 left over to post on our Discord for people to discuss. Here are the categories. Dan, you'll be picking first. Trevor, you're next. And Michael, you're third.
Okay.
Oh, good, because I don't know any of these.
Here are the categories of questions that we've got. Little whitewashed lies. It's a sin. It counts as head if it's in your mouth. Royalty on fire. Sexual hang-ups/hangouts, or questionable clothing.
I'm going for It's a Sin, Don.
It's a sin. I've got 2 different events here, Dan. It's just a quick discussion to you. There is no right, there is no wrong. Which of these events was more shocking to you?
Oh, God.
All right. Sinead O'Connor on Saturday Night Live took out a picture of the Pope and ripped it in half, condemning the Catholic Church for standing behind pedophiles and concealing the scandals and abuse of the Catholic Church. Or the Catholic Church condemning Madonna's Like a Prayer video.
Golly, it was that era where those are.
It was that time.
It was that time where the Catholic Church was like, they didn't have enough to do, so they did that. Apparently, there was no poverty at the time. I think it's shocking that the Vatican would involve itself in pop music.
Fair.
Yeah. I agree with you.
I mean, Sinead O'Connor did something provocative. Really? I'm shocked. No, I'm not shocked.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Trevor, do you need the categories again?
I'm going to go to Royalty on Fire.
Royalty on Fire. Which of these 2 events are more shocking to you? Back in 1993, when Prince changed his name to a symbol, or back in 1984, when, while filming a Pepsi commercial, Michael Jackson's hair caught on fire live on stage?
I'm going to go with Prince changing his name to a symbol.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I feel like safety stuff, especially with concerts, it takes a major pop star getting set on fire to make things safer. And to make your name a symbol is such an odd thing. And I feel like it's like, well, it's good buzz, but also like it's so awkward to talk about. It's good publicity in the sense because everyone's going to be talking about it, but also it's like the guy who was Prince, but who's the symbol now.
The reason that Prince did that was because of a dispute with the record company. And that kind of got lost in the mix, unfortunately.
Oh.
But it was because the record company was saying, we own you. We own everything you do because you owe us albums and you're not allowed to do anything on your own. And Prince's thing was like, I'm a slave. I can't even use my own name. So if you can't use my own name, I'm going to make it some other name. You know what? I'm not going to even make it a name. I'm going to make it a symbol.
Like Taylor Swift. So it'd be like Purple Rain and then in parentheses, like symbols version.
All right, Michael, which was more shocking to you? In 1998, when George Michael was arrested in a Beverly Hills park for engaging in a lewd act in a public restroom, or in 1992, when Madonna released the Sex Book, which became the best-selling softcore photography coffee table book ever released, and continues to be, apparently.
I'm enjoying the delusion that I have heard of either of these 2 things happen.
Yeah. Were you even alive then? I mean, this is so far. 92?
I was 2 and 8. I guess the George Michael thing only because he clearly, I would assume, wasn't trying to get caught. Whereas Madonna, I sort of like what Dan said about Sinead O'Connor. Like Madonna did something shocking. How shocking? Like
that's a valid point. The intentional shock is much harder than the accidental one.
Yeah.
There was a whole sociopolitical movement behind the George Michael thing because it was another example of persecuting gay men in the time. As someone who was present.
Having been a very out of the loop 8-year-old, I'm not sure I could have I could have commented at the time.
Which should I discuss?
Oh, it counts. It counts as head if it's been in your mouth, Don. That's the clear choice for you.
Yeah.
This has always happened to me. Which is more shocking? Ozzy Osbourne biting the head off a bat in 1982 during a concert, or Alice Cooper throwing a live chicken into his audience in 1969, only to watch it be rended to shreds by his crazed fans. I think I still have to go to the Ozzy Osbourne thing. Ozzy Osbourne was a big metal performer. He was famous for doing everything shocking, and someone threw what he had assumed was a plastic bat up on stage. He apparently grabbed the bat and bit the head off, only to discover it was a real one. Apparently not an urban legend.
I mean, the bat flew through the concert and was stunned by the music and the lights and the sound and landed on the stage, and he absolutely knew it was a real bat.
He was probably high as a kite, too.
He was high, he was drunk, he was a rock star, and he thought it would be cool. And then afterwards, when people said, oh my God, that's awful, my opinion is that he had to backpedal and say, I thought it was fake.
That's probably true.
Yeah, he's not going to bite the head off nothing. Yeah.
I mean, if it's a rubber bat, it's going to be a solid piece of rubber, and how are you going to bite through?
As soon as it goes into his hand, he knows that it's not. Nope. Yeah, I don't buy it for a second.
All right, kids. If you want to discuss any of these on our Discord, we'll put them up. But the two that were not picked that are purely for our audience discussion, Little Whitewashed Lies, which is more shocking, Milli Vanilli exposed for lip syncing, or Martha Wash being exposed as every other major singing voice in the music industry, or Questionable Clothing, which was more shocking, Janet Jackson's wardrobe malfunction, or the Red Hot Chili Peppers performing with nothing but socks over their cocks. So if, Trevor, if anyone would like to discuss these things, where could they get in touch with us about them?
Well, we're on Blue Sky and Instagram as @BigFatGayPod. We're on Facebook as Big Fat Gay Podcast. Leave us 5 stars or a review there or on your preferred podcast platform. See the articles we talked about at www.bigfatgaypod.com, baby. Also, patreon.com/bigfatgaypod. Support us there. Baby. Maybe you're a bat and you're listening to the podcast on your tiny little
bat phones.
Bat phones. And suddenly you're veering into an Ozzy Osbourne concert, and the lights and the sound, it's just so disorienting, and you plummet and you tumble and you see Ozzy Osbourne standing over you.
Oh dear.
And he thinks you're rubber.
So Michael swoops in and picks you up and takes you to safety. Goodbye.
Yay!
This is my fiction, damn it. I get to make it what I want it to be.
Michael taking hold of the narrative by the horns.
It's Bat Michael.